Welcome everyone to our fourth Facebook live stream video, and I'm here with Mr. Conrad Lee, who's running for his re-election for Bellevue City Council. Tonight's topic is neighborhood quality of life, so thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much, Councilmember Lee, for being here tonight.
Well, thank you, and welcome you all to Facebook live interview again. I hope you enjoyed tonight's topic.
Yes, it's very, very important that we discuss this tonight. And well, first of all, I think a congratulations is in order for you because Councilmember Lee was recently endorsed by the Seattle Times. So congratulations for that. That's absolutely amazing. And they say that you clearly have demonstrated a commitment to meeting the needs of the community and that you're passionate about serving the East Side's biggest city. So what would you say are these needs that you're meeting? Because this endorsement is absolutely amazing.
Oh, I'm glad they realize that I am committed to the communities that I represent.
Yes.
Because this is what's important for a city. It's our community. And when we talk about community, it's our neighborhoods. And that's what's so special about Bellevue. Bellevue is a vibrant, urban center with great businesses. However, it really puts a lot of importance on its neighborhoods. And neighborhoods is my number one priority because that's what makes a city. That's what makes Bellevue. When I came here 50 years ago, the reason we came here is because we like the neighborhoods. It is safe and it's a great environment. It's got great schools and we have great neighbors. When people who look after each other, who welcome somebody like myself to a city of Bellevue, brand new from another country. So I think these are all important things that makes up a city. And Bellevue is great because we're being able to maintain the neighborhoods and also even more special. There are many neighborhoods here and they are special to themselves. They all have their own individual characters and we want to be sure that they are all maintained and we pay attention to maintaining these characters.
So what do you think is most important about making sure that all of the needs of the different neighborhoods are being met? Because as you mentioned, over the course of these 50 years that you've been in Bellevue, Bellevue has changed dramatically, becoming more centered as a commerce and more trading and business. So how would you say you find a balance between keeping these aspects of neighborhood while also adapting to this change of becoming more of a center for commerce?
Well, the simple answer is that to elect people like myself to the city council to make sure that we make good decisions.
Yes.
Make sure that we do, more importantly, however, which seriously is to listen to the people and we know their needs and we share their values and we actually advocate for them on their behalf, making sure the city staff and the city is accountable.
Yes.
And obviously it's easy to say that, but there are ways they have to make sure you do it. And City of Bellevue, we have great people that are engaged, and so we are very lucky. But still, we need to make sure that we listen to them. And it's getting more challenging because as the city has grown. When I first came here 50 years ago, we have 50,000 people. Now we have 140,000.
Right.
And so there are more needs, and there are different needs, and the city has grown and the demographics changed.
Right.
And now we are looking at a city that's a majority city, over 50% of the population.
Yes.
As ethnic minority. And 1/3 of the population were born outside the United States. So there's a lot of newcomers, a lot of immigrants, and we have great diversity, and I think diversity is great. The United States is a country of immigrants. That's what makes us strong, right?
Yes.
And because these people who come here are very motivated and looking for better life and better world, and they are hardworking, and as a result, the newcomer to the city of Bellevue, obviously, it's a good thing for us. But at the same time, as you know, when people find a new place, find new culture, it's challenges. We have to be able to live together. We have to be able to understand each other.
Right.
We have to be able to use people's assets instead of finding differences which we cannot handle. So it's a lot more need and we have to, number one, we got to work harder. Two, we have to make sure that we have the resources, and three, we have to have the attempt, work hard to get people who understand both cultures, multicultural issues, so that we can work through the challenges. And one is to utilize their asset, and two, minimize the potential differences that may cause conflicts and so on.
Right.
So we've got more work to do.
Right, but despite these challenges, many people say that Bellevue is one of the most beautiful cities to live in the world, almost second to none. And what aspects do you think of the Bellevue cities and Bellevue neighborhoods that make this city sort of a beacon city for other cities to look on as an example? What do you think are these aspects that make Bellevue really stand out?
Well, ultimately, it's the people. It's you out there, the people of Bellevue who live here, that are engaged, that are willing to work together, for the better good. It's easy to say that, but it's really a process. And obviously, everybody, have differences sometimes in opinion. But if we establish our common goal, which is, I think, what we strive to do as City Council, we set goals and objectives.
Right.
We say in our motto, diversity is our strength. We'll welcome the world while respecting the past. I think these are good things, but it takes council member leading and helping, listening, having the resources of the city to make sure that we do all the right things. One biggest thing that I would say, which I've always been living to, is our financial resources. You cannot get things done unless you have ultimately the money. I always say, follow the money. Money makes the world go round. And we got to be sure that we have the financial resources to meet those challenges, which we think is important. We have to have money for public safety personnel, police, firefighters, and we have money for schools. We have money for roads. We know as the city grows, the neighborhoods are finding pressure, challenges of road conditions. So what do we have to do? We have to come up with solutions. Solutions takes money to come up with ideas and then implement them. And so I think the city has done a very good job. And the money, where does the money come? Come from the people. So number one, the people are willing to make the right investments when they know that the investment can actually bring result and help come up with solutions. And two, the city doesn't squander their money. There's no wasteful spending. And that's the two things I always advocate is, what we can do to make sure that the city is vibrant, alive, and well, keep the neighborhood quality of life. It's through our low taxes, keep the tax rate low, make sure that we don't have wasteful spending, make sure that we listen to the public, what are the important priorities for them, because that's the only way that they're willing to pay the taxes and to solve the problems we will have.
And you've always had the great reputation of being an advocate for these lower taxes. And as you mentioned, you want to make sure that there's no wasteful spending. So what do you think are the aspects that this spending has helped gone to make Bellevue's quality of life just so remarkable? What things could you mention about education or about our infrastructure or about our transportation that all of these things have gone into and made so much better?
It's important that people have to find that the need for spending money to do all these great, wonderful things like education, like transportation infrastructures, like public safety. That they are not being asked, or they are not stretching themselves to the point that they cannot afford it. As all the regional issues, many people are coming up with ways to spend money. We need to have good priorities. We need to know what's important to us. One example is school. Bellevue has probably the best school system there is. And the reason why they are is because they have special levies. And the people in the city of Bellevue, they are willing to pay for schools because they know it's important. And they are able to pay it because there's not other needs to tax them that they don't have money for school. So they have this priority. Two, same thing with public safety. They think it's important, so we fund them adequately, and they have money to do that. But the reason why we're able to do this is because we have been able to appropriately, responsibly, prudently spend our money. So there's the ability to pay. But as there are other people, other sources are requiring us to pay more money. If a tax gets up to the point it's too high, then people cannot afford it.
Right.
Then we're in trouble. Right now we are not. For example, but I always tell people, Bellevue is very proud, I'm proud, that we do not have potholes on the road.
Yeah, of course.
As to compare to some other cities.
Right.
And the reason is because we have prioritized them. We have excess money, not really excess, but we have adequate resources to do those things, to keep the city in good shape.
Right.
And so it's again question of how do we manage our financial resources. And I've always been the one that at the city council advocate for low taxes, keep taxes low, and no wasteful spending, make sure that we are prudent in our financial management.
Right.
And we have come through recessions and with flying colors, and we're still able to keep those wonderful quality of life real for the people of Bellevue. So we need to continue to do that as we have more challenges coming. And so I hope that I have the opportunity to continue to do so.
Of course. And as you mentioned, it's very, very hard to find these priorities, right? Because of our diverse populations in all of our neighborhoods. So how would you say is the key to finding this balance in between spending and also making sure that the people of Bellevue have the utmost quality of life in these neighborhoods?
Well, we have make sure that, because of the quality of life we have, people want them, so they want to come here to live. So we need to make sure that we have an environment that's welcoming to them.
Right.
We keep the taxes low, we keep them safe, and we have good school that's available to them. And people come here, they represent, they have good education, they are well educated, good jobs, and so we attract business to come here. When business come here, they provide more jobs, and people are here, they are able to work here and live here, and I think these are all the things that we do. Yeah, so it's important, and ultimately, we have to be, a city that's welcoming, that's friendly, that makes people's life better, and that's what Bellevue has always been.
That's great. And we just received a question from Jake, and he's asking, with the news that companies like Amazon are looking outside the Pacific Northwest to build a new headquarters, how do we keep good jobs in Bellevue?
Well, just as I said, we want to be providing an environment to make people feel that they can do better. There's a place of choice, for their employees want to live here.
Yes.
Okay, so people coming to the Northwest now, people from Silicon Valley, because they find this is a great place. People who want to live here.
Right.
And this is a place where they want to raise their kids, raise their families. And this is where they enjoy their prosperity, opportunities.
Right.
And this is a place where they have great talents. They can have new companies, they can grow new companies, startups, entrepreneurs. And we just recently, we are attracting a lot of, we're very fortunate. We have companies like Microsoft, Amazon.
Yes.
And and they are working on new technologies such as cloud computing, big data. These are the technology for the future, artificial intelligence, all that stuff. So where do they get talents and companies that work on those things, that have the most potential to grow them? It's all here.
Right.
So they can go somewhere else, but they have to start all over, everything they do. And we don't want to chase them away. We want to keep them here.
Yes.
And Seattle is having some of the problems, which I was talking about. That's why it's more expensive, and the tax has been going up.
Right.
And the environment, the quality of life is deteriorating.
Right.
So that's why Amazon's looking, well, maybe they should, the employees would like to work somewhere else, and they can. But Bellevue wants to make sure we maintain the same quality. We want to keep taxes low.
Of course.
We want to be friendly to businesses, and we want to make sure that we continue to attract people from all over the world, to come to this region.
Right. So it's kind of like a cycle, how we keep our quality of life so high in these Bellevue neighborhoods that it actually attracts these businesses and keeps our city going even more. Is that right?
Well, actually, Bellevue is the leader on the east side.
Right.
The whole region, the growth is really taking place on the east side.
Yeah.
Bellevue is basically the leader of the pack.
Yes.
And we need to provide leadership, model, example, and to show people that we have the ability and to attract businesses to come here and attract people who want to live here. And we obviously, one thing when we talk about this, we need to make sure the people who live here, already live here, can continue to live here.
Yes, of
That's
course.
why you don't want to raise taxes too much.
Right.
Unnecessarily, not too much, unnecessary. You want to make it affordable for people who are retiring. Like myself, I'm at the retirement age, even though I'm still working.
Right.
But want to make sure we have housing for people, and we have to make sure that we continue to provide a quality environment, for everybody.
Right. And we have another question from Kate Chen, and she asks, in addition to improving existing resources like parks, education, what kind of new public resources do you think the city should look to introduce and improve our quality of life here in Bellevue?
I don't know what Kate means, public resources. I am the person that believes in public-private cooperation and partnership to create, resources.
Right.
And the public resources we're talking about basically is tax dollars. And I think tax dollars is really the last resort. I believe when we talk about, it's only for essential services, which are necessary, which the private sector cannot provide. And then the public should be there, as either the last resort or as the seed money, as the initial catalyst.
Right.
But I don't think it should be relied on, depend on. And we need to be more creative, innovative, to figure out how some of the services things can be done by the private sector. And that's where you encourage business to come here.
Okay.
Businesses and can have more creativity. That's what they are supposed to do. And they are supposed to take risk, supposed to make more money. And when they make more money, hopefully they pay taxes, pay more taxes. And that's what it's all about. And government should not be. So I'm not looking for more resources from government, but I'm looking for more public-private partnership where government can encourage the success of private businesses and individuals as well. People. That's why we want to make sure people are successful, are happy, so that they are willingly to contribute.
Yes.
And that's where I would say, Kate's question should be answered.
Right.
That's where the resources is coming from.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This has been a very insightful discussion tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in to this really fantastic conversation we had about neighborhood quality of life in Bellevue. And thank you everyone who commented those questions to ask us tonight. And be sure if you have any more questions to comment them in the comment section of our Facebook live stream video, and also tweet us or email us at Conrad Lee. And thank you so much for being here tonight.
Before we end, I'd like to compliment my interviewer, my co-host. I call this both co-host, Helena Ang. She's a high school senior at Bellevue High School, right? And she's done a tremendous job. And I think this is the model example of how when young people get involved, they can contribute, to the community at a very young age. But more importantly, they are more prepared to tackle the challenging world out there when they go to college and eventually go to the workforce. So I'm very proud that we have this opportunity. Second, I want to thank you again for checking in, and I hope that our discussion stimulate you to think a little bit more about the importance of the issues that is facing us in the city of Bellevue and the region ultimately. And then you must elect the right people who are going to do the right things. So it's important that you share whatever we talk about and get it on the Facebook, get it on your email. Let your friends, associate, all know about the issues and know about the people they are going to be voting for, and ultimately elect to serve you to make sure that we, the city of Bellevue, has the best quality of life there is, and through the neighborhood, which they can enjoy the quality that we all share, we all enjoy. So thank you for watching.
Thank you.